The registrar here at the Florence Griswold Museum, and we are in our paper trail exhibition. I'm here not to talk to you about the art per se, but to talk a little bit about some of the behind the scenes with the art. So today's topic of video is going to be the object number. Some folks might notice that on our labels, right underneath the information about each object, is a very strange number. Well, what does that number mean? The number is in 3 parts, and the first part of the number is a year. And the year corresponds to when we got the object into the collection. The second number is the gift number, which means if we got maybe 5 things in the year 2019, this would be the first gift that came in that year. The last number is the object number. If that gift had multiple items attached to it, then you would have that third number. So that is the object number. A computer has a serial number, a car has a VIN number, artwork in our collection has an accession number, and that accession number can tell us everything about the piece of artwork. When we get something, we have a catalog sheet that lists out all of the information. This is kept physically in our documentation, as well as put into our database, which is for the staff. So the staff gets to look through and find out anything about a particular object. Where it came from, who it's by, the year, what medium, what it looks like, the subject, who donated it, how much it's worth, all the kind of information we attach to that specific number. There's a few different ways you want to do this depending on the type of material. If you've come to see our paper trail exhibition before, you may notice in our cases behind me that house some of our Thomas Nason artist materials that you see some painted numbers on the objects, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how that happens. It might seem a little odd that you're painting on something historical, but don't worry, the way that it's done is not going to harm the object if you do it correctly. So the first thing you want to do is we use 2 different things. We use it's almost like a clear nail polish that you paint onto a 3-dimensional object first. Wait for it to dry. This is called your barrier coat. Next, you're going to use what also looks like nail polish, which is sort of an acrylic paint that goes on top of that base coat. After that, you take your felt tip marker and write the accession number on the object. And the reason why you want to write it directly on the object is, again, like your car or your computer, you want to make sure that that number stays with the object for its life. This is going to help folks far past my job and our curators know that that particular piece actually is what it is. Sometimes we use tags as sort of a temporary to kind of as a placeholder to write the number on there before we can physically number the object. And that's the process for a 3-dimensional object. It's a little bit different for something 2-dimensional, like a print, where you would write the number just in pencil on the back, because pencil can be erased, but ink cannot. So I just told you about how we put object numbers on objects, and again, it's really important that the object is physically numbered so that when we open up a random box in our storage, we know what these things are, or have a way to find out what these objects are. So as you can see in this box, we have more of Thomas Nason's artist materials, and if I just pick up one piece here, you can see that each one of them, like the objects in the cases, are physically numbered with that accession number. And that's really interesting, so that if I open this up, I can take a look at it and go back to that object file and figure out what this is. Some of you might be wondering why I'm not handling this with gloves. My hands are clean, but certain materials, especially works on paper and things, it's better to handle them without gloves, so that you still have, you can be more tactile. Sometimes wearing a pair of nitrile gloves or cotton gloves kind of takes away the ability to feel the object and handle it safely. When you really want to use gloves is when you're handling things that are metal, so you're not getting your fingerprints on it, especially with silver, and anything that your natural oils can really tarnish. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you learned a little bit about the numbers that you see on our object labels. You'll have a little bit more knowledge next time you come to our museum or go to another one. Thanks for your time, and I hope you come visit the museum soon.